بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآل الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد.
اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم. اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of the life of the Prophet Musa ala nabiyina wa alihi wa alayhi salam. This is our second part. We ended with the way Allah planned that Musa alayhi salam will be fostered by his own mother, and the mother would be able to join her son. We said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فرددناه إلى أمه كي تقر عينها ولا تحزن ولتعلم أن بعد الله حق ولكن أكثرهم لا يعلمون. Chapter 28, verse 13. So here there are some details that we can find in some sources, not in the Qur'an itself, that I thought it might be good to mention. So when the people in the palace saw that Musa alayhi salam does not accept to be fostered by anyone, and he was, hungry, he was, crying. So they went outside to look for someone, and near there they met the sister of Prophet Musa alayhi salam. As we explained, she was asked by her mother to escort the baby from distance without anyone noticing. So it is said that she said, I know someone from Bani Israel who has ability to foster. She has milk, and also she has a heart with love, and she has lost her son. According to some sources, she has lost her son, so is happy to help you. She has lost her son in the sense that she had to leave her son to go to the river or the sea. So now she has maybe they thought her son has died, because Bani Israel's, children are, if they are male, were killed. Or maybe they thought it was ill, etc. Then it is said that when the mother tried to foster Musa, Musa was so happy and started drinking, and there was light in the eyes of everyone. Harun, who was the minister of Pharaoh, it is said that said to the mother of Musa, I think you are his real mother. It's not in the Quran, as I said. I think you are his real mother. Why he refused everyone except you? But the mother said, because I am a person that I am, here it is said that I smell good, well. Maybe meaning I am very careful about, cleanliness, and no child has ever refused to accept me, to foster. So somehow managed to divert the attention of Haman And when she said that I have this kind of habit that I smell well, I have lots of milk, and no child has refused me. They say even some people who were there gave her some gifts because she helped them to find a solution for this problem. According to a hadith from Imam Baqir alayhi salam, it took 3 days till Musa was given back to his mother. Some also have said that maybe one reason also was that Musa was supposed not to be fostered by people that maybe they were eating, from haram, they were involved in doing haram. So his own mother, who was pious, who was pure, was supposed to foster him. As you remember, I said there are two opinions whether in that period Musa was given to the mother to foster him at home and sometimes bring him to the palace, or she went to the palace to foster Musa. There are two opinions. But after fostering finished, Musa was in palace anyway. So till he became mature, he was in the palace. Because if we look at the verse 18 of Surah Shu'ara, could you please go to verse 18 of Surah Shu'ara? We find that there was a conversation between Pharaoh and Musa ala nabiyina wa alayhi salam. قال ألم نربك فينا وليدا ولبثت فينا من عمرك سنين. O Musa, Pharaoh said this, did we not raise you and upbring you as a child? Fina, this fina, among us, indicates, its zahir is this, that at least for some years Musa was in the palace. And we have other evidence, historical evidence, but the Qur'an also suggests this. From tafsir of Ali ibn Ibrahim Qummi, we can realize that Musa was up to the time of bulugh living in the palace. He was respected, but sometimes he was talking about Tawheed and about Allah, which was not pleasing to Pharaoh. At some point he left the palace. Now we go into another stage of the life of Musa alayhi salam. If we can go back to Surah Al-Qasas. So Surah Al-Qasas, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَدَخَلَ الْمَدِينَةَ عَلَى حِينَ غَفْلَةٍ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا. He entered Medina, the city. Which city? We are not 100% sure, but maybe it means the capital of Egypt, Misr. Why he entered the city? So it shows that he had left. If this city was the capital, it means that he had left the palace either because he was not happy or he was expecting problem, whatever. or maybe temporarily. So he went outside the city, and when the inhabitants of the city were busy with, maybe they say it was beginning of the night, they had finished their job, their shops, they were at home. So not many people were in the city, on the street. It was not a very busy time. He saw that two men are fighting. Not many people were around. It was Musa, and he saw these two people. هذا من شيعته وهذا من عدوه. One of them was from the followers, the Shia of Musa. One of them was enemy of Musa. One was Sibti from Bani Israel. One was Qibti from people of Pharaoh. It is said that some say he was the cook of Pharaoh, and he was forcing this Sibti to help him with carrying wood, etc., for cooking. He was trying to, force him to serve him. The one who was from Shia of Musa, فَاسْتَغَاثَهُ الَّذِي مِنْ شِيعَتِهِ عَلَى الَّذِي مِنْ عَدُوِّهِ. Ask him, please help me against this man. It seems that he was not able to get rid of that person. Maybe that person was strong, and although he was alone, no soldiers, etc., was able to force this person. And he was refusing. So, from Shi'atihi, from this expression, Ayatollah Makaram says, it shows that Musa had already established some contacts with Bani Israel, and already had told them what we should do, and had recruited some people, or anyway, he had some following. هذا من شيعته. My humble opinion is that not necessarily, because sometimes maybe it's for future. We say بِاعْتِبَارِ مَا يَعُولُ, means someone that in future was going to be his Shia, because he was from Bani Israel. And even if they didn't at that time follow Musa, but these are the people who are going to follow him in future in the revolution of Musa alayhi salam. Like the case that we had about Prophet Yusuf. You remember one of the people in the prison said, Arani a'asiru khamra. I had a dream that I am squeezing wine. We said here means squeezing grapes. But because this grape in future is going to become wine, it said a'asiru khamra. Meaning I am squeezing grapes to become wine. So perhaps this Shi'ati also can be like that. That in future, these are going to be on the side of Musa, and the other person is going to be on the side of Pharaoh, because he's already with Pharaoh in his fasad, mischief, in killing Bani Israel. But maybe by that time he didn't have issue with Musa, unless we say Musa had already started his recruiting, etc. Musa alayhi salam saw that there is a member of Bani Israel who are oppressed, etc., wanted to help. He didn't want to kill the other person, he just wanted to help. But when he punched, that person died. فَوَكَزَهُ مُوسَى فَقَضَى عَلَيْهِ. Musa, as I said, didn't want to kill him. Not that he didn't, the other person was not, entitled, or was not, it was not a bad person, etc. No, that person was part of the Pharaoh's camp, and they were killing Bani Israel, etc. But that was not the right time for Musa doing this. It was causing Musa problems. The things were not yet prepared. Therefore, he said, هذا من عمل الشيطان إنه عدو مضل مبين. This was an act of shaitan. Maybe he meant that this quarrel, this fight started by shaitan to cause us problem, to involve us and cause problem. إنه عدو مضل مبين. It's an enemy that it's mudil, is misguiding. Sometimes your enemy cannot misguide you, has no attraction, no power to convince you. It's just enemy. At the same time that shaitan is aduw mubin, as Allah says, innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. But unfortunately, we listen to shaitan many times. Shaitan has the ability to deceive us. Sometimes, unfortunately, people follow their enemies. قال رب إني ظلمت نفسي فاغفر لي. Oh Allah, I did injustice to myself because I'm causing now problem for myself. If that person was an innocent person, Musa here has made also unintentional murder, so has done something wrong to that person, but not intentionally, and something wrong to himself. But that person already deserved punishment, but it was not the time for executing what he deserved. So Musa has done zulm to himself by causing problems for himself. Now he has to run away, etc. Ayatollah Makarim Shirazi says, this was tark awla. It was not a sin, but it was something that was better not to be done. And still Musa is very critical of himself, and he accepts the responsibility, although shaitan was behind this, but I am also responsible. Inni zalamtu nafsi. I cannot put blame on the shaitan only. Faghfir li, please forgive me. And Allah knew that Musa is honest. Musa didn't want to kill anyone. Even he didn't want to kill the enemy, which is entitled for punishment. فَغَفَرَ لَهُ. Allah forgave him. إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. Allah is very forgiving and merciful. When Musa saw Allah is forgiving him, because he was a prophet and he was aware, Allah informed him that he was forgiven. It's not like us that when we ask for forgiveness, sometimes we see signs, but we are not 100% sure. When you see there is softness, when there is regret, when you don't want to go back, inshallah, these are signs that you are forgiven. But we are always worried, maybe I'm not forgiven, maybe I'm not sincere, maybe I don't have all the conditions of tawbah. But Musa was aware, he was a prophet, and Allah made him aware. So he said, Rabbi, bima an'amta alayya, my Lord, because of you blessing me. And perhaps this means accepting my tawbah. Or it can be general, all the blessings in the past. I will never be helping criminals or the people who are, guilty of crimes. فَلَنْ أَكُونَ ظَهِيرًا لِلْمُجْرِمِينَ. This is this part of the story. After this, he realized that there is now danger. Even we said maybe there was a problem already, so he left the city, but now there is more problem. فَأَصْبَحَ فِي الْمَدِينَةِ خَائِفًا يَتَرَقَّبُ. Then he was in the city and was fearful and expecting something might happen. Of course, this fear is not fear for his personal life, it's fear for the mission not to be completed. He felt responsible. He's not yet a prophet, technically, but he's responsible, feels responsible for his people to save them. What happened is that then he saw the same person that was asking him for help yesterday again fighting. فإذا الذي استنصره بالأمس يستصرخه قال له موسى إنك لغوي مبين. غبي with غين, from غي, not with قاف. قاف comes from قوة, means powerful. غبي with غين means misguided. You know, I said, he says this is min amal shaitan. Maybe it means that the fight was from shaitan. This is also another evidence that for that interpretation. You are misguided. You are following shaitan. Shaitan wants to cause these fights. And your misguidance is very clear. How can one person in less than 24 hours get involved in 2 fights? You know the situation, you know these people are, you know, powerful, etc. And you cause fighting. But what can Musa do? Still, he cannot be just indifferent. He sees, you know, there is Mazloom who maybe has no good akhlaq, good temper, maybe doesn't observe taqiyya, gets into fighting. So now Musa tries to help. فلما أن أراد أن يبطش بالذي هو عدو لهما, because the other person was an enemy of Musa also, because he was an enemy of Bani Israel. Every Bani Israeli was suffering from them. He didn't want to kill him, he just wanted to force him to go away. That man said, Ya Musa, aturidu an taqtulani kama qatalta nafsan bil ams. This showed that either the news had reached them or he was guessing. Maybe the way that person was killed was signaling that must be by someone like Musa, who is strong and from Bani Israel. So he said, Oh Musa, are you going to kill me? Do you want to kill me like you killed someone yesterday? إن تريد إلا أن تكون جبارا في الأرض وما تريد أن تكون من المصلحين. Maybe he was aware that Musa has the intention of islah. He was saying that we need islah and reform. We need to stop this slavery of Bani Israel and Zulm, etc. Maybe because he was in the Pharaoh camp, he was familiar with Musa. He knew Musa by name, etc. So he said, this is not the way for islah. You are after power. You want to be a tyrant. You don't want to do islah. If you are trying to do islah, you shouldn't keep killing people. Yesterday you killed someone, now. This is the argument of this person, of course. إن تريد إلا أن تكون جبارا في الأرض. You don't want except to become a tyrant in the land. Ard maybe earth, or maybe this land of Egypt, etc. وما تريد أن تكون من المسلمين. You don't want to be one of those who bring reforms. So Musa alayhi salam now realized that the news has been going around, is a spread that he has done this, and he also tried to not to do anything, that can make this problem more, left that person. And then what happened was Pharaoh and his people had a meeting. Maybe their security council was held. We have a big threat. Someone is from us killed by Musa. They had evidence, or at least they were guessing. And because this could be a sparkling a riot by Bani Israel, encouraging other people to kill our people, etc., they took it very serious. And they decided that Musa must be executed. Without any trial, without talking to Musa, they thought that we have enough evidence that this is done by Musa and we have to kill him. Something saved Musa alayhi salam. If you go to the next ayah, وَجَاءَ رَجُلٌ مِّنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ يَسْعَى. From a very far place, from maybe the outskirts of the city, from maybe where the palace of Pharaoh was there, someone who was with Pharaoh inside their camp, but hiding his iman. He was upset with zulm, injustice and corruption of Pharaoh. He had hope in Musa, because he was seeing Musa in the palace, growing and his akhlaq, etc. And now he was aware of the decision of Pharaoh and the security council of Pharaoh. He went to inform Musa alayhi salam. How he found Musa alayhi salam is also interesting. I didn't see how he found Musa. Maybe it's mentioned in some books, I don't know. What was it, by accident that he found Musa? Was it something already between them? Maybe that, for example, whenever you want to find me, I will be in that place. They had this, kind of way of communicating, or a third party was able to put them in touch. This is interesting. Pharaoh was not able to find Musa with all his soldiers and army, but this man found Musa. Or Allah helped him to find Musa, so I don't know how this happened. He met Musa, قال يا موسى إن الملأ يأتمرون بك ليقتلوك. O Musa, these people, Mala are the people who are outstanding, powerful people. The elite, or the powerful, the influential people. They are making plan to make a plot against you, conspiring to kill you. So very quickly he informed, فَخْرُجْ, go out of this city. إِنِّي لَكَ مِنَ النَّاصِحِينَ, I want the best for you, I wish you well. So Musa alayhi salam, without hesitation, without saying, no, I stay here and no problem, they can kill me, or they can imprison me. No, saved himself for big mission. And also it is interesting that although this person was mu'min, But he was not showing this because he was in the camp of Pharaoh, and if he was, protesting, objecting, they would have killed him, finished him. He was doing some kind of taqiyyah so that maybe in future he can do something more important, not just, to object and then be excluded or killed. فَخَرَجَ مِنْهَا خَائِفًا يَتَرَقَّبُ. Now that the news is spread and Pharaoh has already with his team made a decision to kill him, he left the city خَائِفًا, with fear, again for the mission of saving Bani Israel, which he was feeling before Allah actually appointed him as a prophet. Yataraqab, and he was very vigilant, or he was expecting problems coming. Maybe they are going to follow him and find him, because he was not next to the borders of Egypt. He was in the capital, so they had people around. They could send people after him. So he made dua. He did the right thing and made dua. The right thing was to decide to leave the city, and then he did dua. He was not able to do anything more. رَبِّ نَجِّنِي مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. Please save me from these people who are oppressors, unjust. So he decided to go towards Madian. Madian, as we discussed about the story of Prophet Shu'aib, was where Prophet Shu'aib was living. وَلَمَّا تَوَجَّهَ تِلْقَاءَ مَدْيَنَ. So he chose the direction of Madian, and he was saying to himself, عَسَى رَبِّي أَنْ يَهْدِيَنِي سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ. He was hopeful that his Lord may guide him to the right way, not only to save him. No, we have to be ambitious. We have to have great expectation and opinion about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Husnul dhanna billah. He said, not only Allah inshallah is going to save me, he will also maybe guide me to the right path. Not right path of just Tawheed, right path in the life, also in the mission. Sabil, because this is Sabil, not Sirat. Sabil can be used for derivative things. We said Sirat is always singular, Sabil is plural. Subul. Where is Madian? We talked about this before. Basically, Madian, it is said that was in this area in southern Sham and north of Hijaz, and was not part of the territory of Misr and Pharaoh's jurisdiction. Some people say that the people there from one of the progenies of Prophet Ibrahim called Madian. So we talked about this before. When we look at the map, we find that it was not too far. So maybe in a matter of several days, one could reach Madian. But Musa doesn't have any equipment, doesn't have any, navigator, any guide. He's alone. Maybe for the first time he's traveling like this. He used to be in the palace. Now there is no provision, no shoes, proper shoes. Even it said that he had to sometimes walk naked, with naked feet. So no food. So it's very difficult. But maybe this was part of the training of Musa. He needed to get used to difficulties. he was brought up in the palace with all the, facilities, etc. Now he has to get used to difficult life. He was also eating from the grass or vegetables or whatever was grown from the earth. Even it is said that his skin was becoming green. The under skin was becoming green because he only was eating green things. When he arrived after, it is said, maybe 8 days, arrived where the shepherds used to go and take water for their animals in Madian, he was taking some rest and watching what people are doing. He found that there are some people who are watering their flocks. These were men, but there were 2 women that they were holding back, and he watched it for some time, maybe for several hours, so that these people are just waiting. قال ما خطبكما, he said, what do you want to do? What's your business? They said that we have to wait till these shepherds go, and then we can water our flock. And they maybe anticipated a question, why you have come, everyone here is a man, why you 2 ladies have come here? Maybe they anticipated this question. And they said, Abuna Sheikhun Kabir, meaning that we don't have any brother, we don't have any husband, we have only a very old father. No brother, no man in our family, no uncle. So they answered very briefly, Abuna Sheikhun Kabir. And this shows that not only maybe they anticipated the question, but also they wanted to say, we have no other choice. If we had any choice, we would not have come. We would have given this task to men. فَسَقَى لَهُمَا. Then Musa said, let me help. To himself, maybe he didn't talk to them. It is said that the container for water that they used to put inside and bring water needed several people, even say up to 10 men were needed to hold this container. And Musa, maybe told them, why you are not giving, these people, these ladies, let the ladies to, take water. And they said, we have to do this ourselves. It needs people, several people. And maybe they ridiculed him and said, okay, if you want, you can give them water. And 10 people were needed to move this or put it in the well and bring it out. It was a big thing. But Musa was very strong, and also Allah helped him. So he managed to do everything for them to give them water. So, فَسَقَى لَهُمَا. He watered their flock for them on their behalf. Then he went to the side. There was a shadow to have some rest. He was very hungry, maybe very much in need of something to eat or something, I don't know, to use as dress, as shoes, etc. But very politely and humbly he said to Allah, Rabbi, My Lord, إني لما أنزلت إلي من خير فقير. I am indeed in need of any good you may send down to me. Although anzalta means any good that you have sent down to me, but here maybe it means you are going to send down. So it means anything that you send, I need any good. I'm empty-handed, I have nothing. And he was very happy to just receive something, a little bread to eat. We had this in the book Uddatul Da'i, when we talked about Zuhd of the prophets. 2 sessions ago we talked about this. Meanwhile, when he was having some rest and praying, etc., one of those 2 ladies came back. فجاءته إحداهما تمشي على استحياء. One of them came back and she was walking with very obvious sense of haya. Her haya was obvious. Sometimes people, the way they dress, the way they walk, shows they have haya, if they don't say anything. And therefore people don't think bad about them. So she said, my father is inviting you to reward you because you watered for us, our flock. Musa alayhi salam welcomed that. This shows that these are nice family. These ladies were so modest, so the father is so grateful that just I did something for them, but he wants to reward me. So he accepted. He didn't have any other plan also. So he went. فَلَمَّا جَاءَهُ وَقَصَّ عَلَيْهِ الْقَصَص. So Prophet Shu'aib maybe asked him, what are you doing? Why you are here? What is your story? And he saw in Prophet Shu'aib signs of Iman and Taqwa and piety. He told the story, how he has run away from Pharaoh. Prophet Shu'aib said, لا تخف, don't fear. نجوت من القوم الظالمين. He had prayed, نجني من القوم الظالمين. Shu'aib is saying dua is answered. He didn't say dua is answered, but means whatever you have asked is granted, yeah? نجوت من القوم الظالمين. You are saved from the unjust people. Because that place was outside jurisdiction of Pharaoh. Then one of those 2 daughters of Shu'aib, قالت إحداهما. One of them said, oh father, استأجره, please hire him. إن خير من استأجرت القوي الأمين. Maybe there was no one in that place to hire before. If it was possible to hire someone, he would have hired before so that his daughters would not go. Either there was no one trusted or no one was happy with the things that Prophet Shu'aib had to give, had in his position to give. Maybe he didn't have any money. But now this daughter says, please hire him. إن خير من استأجرت القوي الأمين. The best you can hire is someone who is strong and amin. He's strong because he did what several men have to do. It was difficult. They were waiting for the men to finish and leave some water maybe in the container and use. But Musa alone did a great job. Also, he's Amin. Why? It is said because when this lady was taking Musa to see, her father was naturally walking in front because she knew the direction. And Musa said, I will go first and you come behind me, not in front of me or next to me, behind me, and tell me wherever I have to turn, tell me right, left. Even in the book of Ayatollah Makaram says that maybe it was windy also, and he saw that the wind may, move, for example, the outfit of this lady anyway, or for even if there was no wind anyway. He didn't want to walk behind this young woman. So from here she realized that Musa is also Amin. But also maybe because they heard the story of Musa and they realized that Musa is Qawi and Amin, because he must have told them that how that person was killed with one punch, and how he wanted to help Bani Israel, and he's not after money. He left the palace. He could have the best positions of dunya, but he was not pleased with that. So from the story also they could understand that he is Qawi and Amin. I think the daughter didn't expect what Prophet Shu'aib was going to say. I think she meant just hire him maybe temporarily, for example, every day when we need, for example, water, etc., or maybe something like that. But Prophet Shu'aib, when saw Musa alayhi salam, and maybe he was inspired by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, planned something more. He said, I want to marry you one of my two daughters, these two daughters, and you would in return work for me 8 years. If you make it 10, this is up to you. Meaning that I appreciate, but there is no force. It's the offer. وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أَشُقَّ عَلَيْكَ. I don't want to make it difficult for you. سَتَجِدُنِي إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. Although he's a prophet, but he says, inshallah, you find that I am not a bad person, I'm a righteous person, inshallah. So to become a member of our family, and basically you work for us and for yourself. You can, have a house here, you can have, a wife here, you can, settle basically. So it was a win-win suggestion. Prophet Musa didn't say, let me do istikhara. He agreed. When you see there is a good family, good father-in-law, good, prospective wife, etc. So he accepted. And he said, ذَلِكَ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكَ. It's like a contract, a kind of promise, a kind of ahd between me and you. Whatever of these two deadlines I complete, there will be no imposition upon me. So maybe I do 10 or 8, whatever, as you said, I decide would be fine. Wallahu ala ma naqulu wakil. And Allah is witnessing above. In the lecture I had in the last round of Wings of Unity about covenant in Islam, I said that no matter who are the two parties, is husband and wife, or two people signing contract for employment, whatever, Allah is the witness, and Allah is now expecting both parties to be loyal to this covenant. So, in such a simple way, he became son-in-law of Prophet Shu'aib, and this was a great opportunity for him to settle and also to be benefiting from knowledge, wisdom, spirituality of Prophet Shu'aib. Also, we have said before that actually when Prophet Shu'aib was so much loving Allah and becoming blind, and Allah was giving him his vision, he said, why you are crying? If you are crying from fear of hell, I have saved you. If you want heaven, I will give you. He said, no, I cry out of love for you. He was so much longing Allah that he was crying, and then Allah sent Musa to serve him. So there are many different levels of planning. On the surface, you see this is a conversation between Shu'aib and Musa. But when you go deeper, you find that Allah is behind these things. Allah is bringing these people together. Their free will is there. But if Allah had not brought them together, their free will was not leading to marriage with the daughter of Shu'aib and staying there, etc. And these years that Musa was acting as a shepherd, was acting as a helper in a simple house, simple family, so he was able to totally get rid of any traces of the type of life that was in the palace. Of course, he was not affected spiritually, but anyway, you need experience, you need training. We have hadith that Allah didn't raise any prophet unless asked them to be shepherds. So it means that even prophets have training. ما بعث الله نبيا إلا واسترعاه الغنم. To be a shepherd has benefits. One is also to make you patient, to understand how to deal with someone who cannot listen or speak to you. This is something you need later. Anyway, we stop here. We thank Allah for being able to have this discussion, and inshallah we continue the discussion bi'iznillah next week. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Thank you, dear Sheikh. It's really a blessing to hear your commentaries on these verses. May Allah bless you, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. So I stopped with the wedding.